Dear Blender Wizards, welcome back to another episode of Hogwarts 3D Station. In this video we're going to create this decent brand new one created by the great Olivanders. Up to now we've created several stuff of Hogwarts World and Hogwarts 3D Station. So if you want to create more stuff on Harry Potter related theme, just click on that link below to go to the playlist and enjoy watching the tutorials. In about today's tutorial, it will be included into two videos, the modeling part, which is today's video, and also the texturing part. At the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create not only this one, but any one you want. You can just use your imagination and create your own style of one. And I have to tell you that it's not a complete beginner tutorial. However, I'm gonna try to explain it in the easiest and fastest way. So I guess we'll have lots of fun. Let's get started and begin the process. Okay, first things first, press A and X to delete everything, the default stuff, and press 3 to go to side or graphic view. This one contains three parts: the stick part, the end part, the marble part, the middle part, and the handle part, the first part. I'm going to start with the stick part, the end part, and go along with the process. So Shift A and bring a cylinder, and press R, the 19, to rotate that alongside the Y axis, and press S and Shift Y to exclude the Y axis from the scale and scale it down again like that. So press S and Y once more, and this time scale it only in the Y axis and bring this all the way up to there, and press GY, bring it to the right part. So this would be our stick of the wand, and there we go. Okay, after doing that, press Ctrl A and just apply the scale, because we've scaled that in the object mode. So press Tab to go to edit mode and hold Alt C to enable the X-ray selection mode. Select these loop cuts here and press S to scale them down, make them really small like this, and press E to extrude the face, the end face here, and bring it up to there, and press S again to scale it even more like that. It should be so small. So come to the end part here and select these parts. So press E and extrude it somewhere up to there, and press S to scale it, and also press E again to extrude that again. So it will be our main shape. So I'm gonna add some, bumps and displacements on the stick. So for that we'll need some extra geometry, and we don't have geometry here. If you see, we have just one faces all over the shape. So what should we do? Just adding loop cuts. Yeah, press Ctrl R, and with your middle mouse button control the amount of loop cut and add several loop cuts here. I'm gonna add maybe around, how many loop cuts I added for being accurate. Let's just, if you open up this panel, loop cut and slide, you see that I added 60 loop cuts. So you can also control the amount of loop cuts after adding loop cuts from here. So I think 60 would be pretty well. So come to the modifiers tab and add modifier and search for a displace modifier. And after you added the displace modifier, it will be looking strangely, but don't panic. It's just a normal thing. And click on new to add a new texture, and come all the way down to the texture part. And from here, change the type from image to or movie to a cloud. And you see it's already changed, but the effect is too much. We have to come back to the modifiers tab and decrease the strings from 1 to a smaller amount like that, 0.13 maybe work pretty well. And come back to the texture part, and this time I'm gonna decrease the size of it to have a little bit, good looking size, in my own idea. And I think something like that would be pretty well. That would be pretty well, but this part I think should be a little bit scaled. Not that part, maybe these parts, because it was too small, but I think it's okay. So let's add a subdivision modifier as well. Press Ctrl 2 to add 2 levels of subdivision modifier, and you see that's the power of magic and Blender. It's amazing. The result is amazing. I like it. So press right click and shade smooth to shade all of the shape smooth, and press 3 again to go to side orthographic view. And let's create the handle part this time. Press Shift A and bring a circle, and press 1 to go to front orthographic view, and press R9T and press X to rotate that on the X axis. So press S and scale this down all the way up to there, and there we go, that's good. It should be bigger than the stick part. Okay, so press tab to go to edit mode, and I'm gonna skip the 3 vertices and select 1. Again, skip 3, select 1, skip 3, select 1. You can just select it by hand, but it will take a lot of time. So press A to select all of them. Come to the select and checker deselect, and you'll face this, menu and panel here. It has 3 elements: deselected, selected, and offset. Okay, we want to deselect the 3 of them. We want to skip the 3 of them and select 1 of them. Here the selected should be 1. But in most cases it won't work properly. You see it has some problems. If you just change the offset from 0 to 1, it will fix the problem for you. So scale them down up to some point like this, and try to rotate them just like that, slightly. And press A to select everything, and press E, Y, and bring them all the way up to there. Good. And I think this would be a little bit, too thin. We can just select it and press S, Shift Y, and try to scale this like that. I think it's much better. And also this one, press S and Shift Y, scale this like this, and bring this backwards all the way up to there. I think that's much better now. Yeah, so press Ctrl A again and scale this as well. And let's add a subdivision modifier for this one as well. Press Ctrl 2 and right click Shady Smooth. And now I'm gonna just select these ones and rotate them along the Y-axis. But you see, we don't have enough geometry as we did for this one. We have to add some loop cuts here and there. So press Ctrl R, and with middle mouse button just add several loop cuts like that. I added around 38 or maybe 40. So let's hold Alt and select the last loop cut here on the face. And this time, if you press R and Y to rotate them, you see, because we added geometry, we added vertices, it's not able to move all of them. So what we have to do, easy, it's just, the answer is just the proportional editing. Yeah, if you press O, or you can just come to here and enable it from the top bar. Just click on it and it should disable and enable it. It's called proportional editing. What does it do? When you press R, when you press S, when you press G, any transform options, it will appear a circle and sphere around it, and it affects all the vertex that are in this circle. So you can control the size of it with your middle mouse button, and that's amazing, isn't it? So press R and Y, increase the size of your proportional editing with middle mouse button, and try to rotate that like this. And I'm gonna rotate that maybe like that. Very well. I rotate that around minus 737 degrees. So that's gonna work pretty good. And let's come to that part, the end part. Let's close up this panel. Hold Alt and select this loop cut. Press E and S to scale them down, and make sure to turn off this proportional editing for now. And I'm gonna just make them circle. For that, we can just right click and come to Loop Tools and select Circle. And in this panel, the Circle panel, the menu that opens up for you, you can decrease the influence and make it 100 or 0. I'm gonna just make it around 80. I don't want it to be a complete perfect circle. And press E again and S to scale them down, this time much smaller. And right click, Loop Tools, Circle. This time I'm gonna just turn it all the way up to 100 and press F to fill that gap here. So press Ctrl R and add around 6 vertices loop cuts, and select this one, and this one. This time press G and Y, try to move them inside of the shape. That's perfect. So let's enable the proportional editing again and select these faces. And now here we're gonna just make some imperfectionism in the shape, because nothing in the real world is perfect. We have to just randomize the shape and move the vertices here and there. It depends on your interests, that what you like and what you like your one to be. And I just prefer it like that. You can go along with any shape you want. It's completely on your hands. It's magic. So there we go. It's good. And also we can just select one part and bring this a little bit inside as well, like that. And this time let's hold Alt C and select these ones. And this is, make sure that the proportional editing is on, and come down to the shear, all the way up to the shear. And now we can just shear them like that. Or before doing that, we can increase the proportional editing size a little bit to affect the other ones as well. And there you go. I think that would be very good. So press 3 again. Let's add some another imperfectionisms in the handle part and the stick part. Press tab to go to edit mode, and let's just go back to the selection, and let's try one of these loop cuts, and let's change the proportional editing from smooth to a sharp, and press S Shift Y to exclude the Y direction, and let's just scale this like that, make it bigger, and press G and Y Z to bring this higher like that. There you go. Look at the shape. It's amazing, isn't it? So come to the end part as well and try to do the same thing as Shift Y, scale it a little bit, and press G and Y Z. This time we're gonna bring it lower. There we go. And maybe we can do the same thing in the top orthographic view. Press 7 and press G, and this time I'm gonna just hit X button and make it a little bit, moving on the X direction, like that. It should be so slight, like that. There you go. And about this one, press 3 and tab to go to edit mode. Try to select one of these loop cuts. If I could be able to select them. Okay, bring it higher, like that. And from here, bring it lower. And here, I should zoom in to be able to select the, okay. It could be go a little bit further as well. So let me enable the X-ray selection mode and select them easily. It won't let me select it in a perfect way. Okay, I think it's a little bit too much, so bring it lower. There we go. And press 7 to go to top orthographic view. Press tab again and try to move them in X direction as well. The thing that we did for the, handle part. Okay, there we go. So I think that's pretty good. So let's go to the last part, which is the marble part. So press Shift A and bring a cylinder this time. Press R and 90 to rotate that on the degree Y axis. So scale this down higher a little bit, like that. And press S and X, Y, S and Y to scale this on the Y axis even more, like that. So press Ctrl A, and this time we're gonna just apply it on the scale part, and again Ctrl A and rotation, because it rotated that, and I'm gonna add a mirror modifier. We're gonna read the rotation to be corrected. So don't move your don't move your model from here. Just press tab to go to edit mode and press A, G and Z, and bring this model in the edit mode, because I want it to be, its pivot point and origin point to be in the middle, in that case, the mirror modifier would work pretty well for us. So let's add a loop cut in the middle with Control R and try to scale this, and make sure to disable the proportional mode of editing here. So let's scale this higher, about there, and with Control B, let's bevel it and add around 4 loop cuts in the bevel. I think that's pretty well, yeah. So press A to select everything, press 3 again to go to side orthographic view, and hold Shift D and Y to duplicate it and move it on the Y direction. So let's go to the face selection part, this one, or we can just press 3. And if I could be able to zoom, okay, this part, this face, and this face, you can just select them with holding Shift and press X, then faces. I'm gonna just snap these two model together. So press 3 again, and hover your mouse on this part, the right ring, and press L to select the linked objects. And now let's just enable the auto merge option from here, and also change the snap tool to the vertex. So very well, let's zoom in a little bit. So bring your mouse to the left part of the model, it's so important, and press to near to one of these vertices, because I want to snap this part, these end vertices, to these vertices here. You see these ones. For that reason, we have to, focus a little bit here. Okay, so press G and Y. So when you're close to that part, when your mouse is on this vertices, hold Control and left click, and there you go. It is snapped together now, and because we've enabled the auto merge option, if you move it, you see that it's snapped together and it's just a one object now, it's merged together. So we can just click on that to disable the auto merge option. So press 2 to go to edge selection part, and hold Alt and select this last edge here. Press E and Y to extrude that, and let's add a supportive loop cut here, because later I'm gonna add subdivision modifier. And there we go. So we can just come to the modifiers part and add a mirror modifier for this one, and we're gonna just mirror on the Y direction. So press 3 to go to side orthographic view to see it properly, and you have to enable the clipping option here, and let's select everything and be sure that we are in the correct position. Okay, hold Alt Z and then select all of these parts and bring them a little bit closer to the middle, just like that. And let's add subdivision modifier with Control 2 and right click, shade smooth. There we go. So for this one, I'm gonna bring it a little bit to the right part, and there we go. So maybe we have to come to the modifiers tab and decrease the scale a little bit. And also from here, from the texture part, we can increase the maybe size or decrease the size. You have to play with the amounts to find the best version of that. I think that's pretty well. This one works pretty well for me. And also we can just go to the tab and edit mode and press A to select everything, and this time hold Alt Z to snap it along the normals. We can just scale it like that. Let's see how is it gonna change. Oh, that's pretty well. Okay, so the modeling part is done here. Let's add also a plane and bring it lower like that. And there we go. I hope it was helpful for you and you enjoyed and learned a lot in this video. If you're not a subscriber, just make sure to subscribe in the channel, and if you haven't liked this video yet, just click on that little like button and leave your comments below that what can we make from the Harry Potter world, and try to make this wand up to here and wait for the next video. In the next video we're gonna just give it some decent textures and lighting and camera setups. So see you in the next video. Goodbye.